It's Friday evening and on the menu today is Chennai Super Kings versus the Sunrisers Hyderabad in the IPL. Lot to look forward to because this match is happening in Chennai and we know how strong Chennai are at home. Can Sunrisers, Hyderabad's batters, can they take up the challenge of the spinners from Chennai Super Kings? That's the big question. 19 out of the 23 games here have been won by Chennai Super Kings at home. So this is going to be a big challenge. MS Dhoni will get his spinners to spin a web around Sunrisers Hyderabad batters. And the question is whether Aiden Markram and co beat the Super Kings in their own den. It will not be easy, but it can be done. Rajasthan Royals have already shown it's possible this season, although they also had Ashwin, Chahal and Zampa, who were perfect for Chepauk. So a lot to look forward to. Jamie Alter is here with me. Anand Vasu will also be joining us. And I know they're eager to get their Friday evening started, but you guys have to wait just a little bit. Let me start with Jamie. If there's one team that has been benefiting from that home advantage, Jamie, it's Chennai.
As always, yes, Friday evening, good match to discuss. It is Chennai where Hyderabad, I believe, have not won once in, 3 attempts. And again, man to man, of course, Chennai, I mean, they have the advantage. They have the knowledge of this ground. And if Mitchell Santner is available, I think he should slot right in at the expense of Mahesh Theekshana just to give Chennai that edge. Because Moeen Ali, last couple of matches, hasn't been taking the kind of wickets that Chennai, and especially Dhoni, who gave him that death stare in the last match after he dropped a catch. It's going to be very, very difficult, Maya, for Hyderabad to rock up here and beat Chennai in Chennai, a ground that Anand Vasu knows a lot about.
So let's find out more from Anand Vasu as to what we can expect in Chennai, because there was one high-scoring match in Chennai that we saw this season. The other was middling total there. What are you expecting from today's game? Is it going to be, again, a similar story, Anand, of CSK spinners, like I said, trying to spin a web around SRH batters?
No, I think it should be a good batting surface that does aid spin a little bit. It's not going to be one of those wickets where the ball skids through or there's going to be a great deal of bounce or anything like that. I mean, Chennai have mastered this in home conditions. Of course, we haven't been playing at home for a while now, thanks to the pandemic, but the template that Chennai has set over the years is to maximize their spin strength at home. And it's not just Sunrisers Hyderabad. Most teams find it difficult to travel to Chennai and win. If I'm not mistaken, Rajasthan won there for the first time since 2008. So it's and they had 3 very good spinners in their lineup in Ashwin and company.
Zampa, yeah.
So it's going to be spin. And I'm not sure about Jamie's reasoning that, Santner comes in straight away. I think Dhoni does put a lot of faith in Mahesh Theekshana, especially because Theekshana bowls inside the power play as well. But I don't think it's going to make much of a difference to Sunrisers, whether it's Theekshana or Santner. Both of them are going to be hard to tackle in these conditions.
These two teams, talking about power play, just so different, Jamie, in the way they've approached their power play. And I know that Sunrisers Hyderabad would have wanted to do the same, just get off the block straight away. But somehow they've not managed to do it. Whereas for Chennai Super Kings, they've actually been very good, the fastest in the power play. And then just about everybody in form for Chennai Super Kings. I mean, when it comes to batting, really, in this IPL so far, there's Rajasthan Royals who've begun well, and then there is Chennai Super Kings and their top order who've done well.
Yeah, I believe Chennai have the best strike rate inside the power play. And just like Anand rightly mentioned the last time we were discussing this team, even if an early wicket does fall in the power play, I think Chennai have lost very few. Whoever walks out, and in the last few matches it's been Rahane, the guys walked out and just looked to just score because that power play is so important. We've discussed several teams that do not cash in the power play like they should, and it's proved detrimental to them. And this is one thing that Chennai have been very consistent with, and it's come through process, through trial and error, through one very, very bad season, and they know that you have to get as many runs in the power play. And I think what this has done is it's allowed someone like Shivam Dubey, who's very inconsistent when it comes to the IPL, but he started to now put together some scores, and it's just that trickle down effect. We saw Gaikwad, he started off so well. Runs have sort of dried up from his bat, but then Devin Conway stepped up. Very, very good innings last time around. Rahane has not had a bad match yet. It's just that positive intent that we spoke about the last time we were talking about Chennai. It just kept this team in such a good space.
Also, we've got our chat open for all who are watching. So in case you are interested in asking questions to us, do let us know which is the team that you're supporting, and also who are the players who think who are going to score runs today, who will be, who will stand out when it comes to bowling and getting wickets. Do let us know in the comment section in the chat below. But let's just continue that conversation. While Chennai have had no such problem when it comes to their batting, Sunrisers Hyderabad, you can't say the same thing about them, Anand, because you've seen Harry Brook, who's come and scored 100 but hasn't done anything else otherwise. There is also Rahul Tripathi, couple of innings here and there from these people, a couple of knocks, but otherwise largely the batting has been a problem for them, which is really surprising because going into the tournament, one thought they have one of the strongest batting lineups.
Well, what's not going to help Hyderabad in this game also is the natural way in which Harry Brook plays. He's exceptional against quick bowling and takes them apart, but he's much more circumspect against spinners. He knows that this is his weakness, and you can be sure that MS Dhoni knows it as well. So it's not going to be easy for Hyderabad to depend on Brook to play that kind of explosive innings that he did in scoring that century. He is going to be kept quiet for periods of time by spin. The problem has also been like someone like Mayank Agarwal not been among the runs, not looking like he's going to turn a corner anytime soon. Batting has been a major problem for Sunrisers, and it's not going to change here in Chennai today, I don't think.
Absolutely, and the options appear thin, Jamie. I mean, how do they change their tempo? Mayank Agarwal out of form. We saw that even in the last game, really struggled, got 240 odd, but struggled there. Also didn't get much help from anybody else. You talk about Rahul Tripathi as well. Is that something now that they look to change, that maybe, get Rahul Tripathi to open? What do you think they should do, given that batting's been a problem?
Definitely, the batting has been a problem, and I think someone like Mayank Agarwal, even when he's been not scoring runs, whatever franchise he's been a part of, that franchise has still shown a lot of faith in him. I know he got 48 last time around. Strike rate was not good at all. They're probably not going to think about dropping him right now. But coming to Rahul Tripathi, this is a player who I have a lot of time for because he's shown across the domestic circuit and almost every franchise he's been part of, he's been given that opening role or that number 3 role or number 4 role. So he's been given a lot of rope by his franchises. And look, 5 matches, just 1 half century, a lot of pressure on him because he's one of those players. He's got the shots. He's not a Suryakumar Yadav, but when he gets going, the guy can find gaps that many other domestic players cannot. They really need him scoring. I don't see Agarwal, like Anand said, turning a corner anytime soon. But it's that man Tripathi who's been given that pivotal role at number 3. Will he open? I don't think so because Harry Brook's 1 big innings of note did come as an opener. I think Aiden Markram has a big role to play. We saw that when Harry Brook was struggling, he came and smacked a 50 off 25, 26 balls. So these kind of batsmen really have to step up. And Anand said that Dhoni's going to know exactly what to do when Harry Brook walks out. He has 3 spinners to pick from. Yes, Manish Tikshana is a power play specialist. You might see him come straight at Harry Brook.
The other thing being, Anand, how does a team like Sunrisers Hyderabad approach this match? I mean, they know they're coming off a loss. They know they'd want to win this, but they also know that conditions are not going to favor them. They also know that this is a sort of a fortress, really, that has been built with Mahendra Singh Dhoni knowing exactly what to do in these conditions. So for Aiden Markram, how do you think he will be approaching this game? Anand?
Me?
Yes.
Aiden Markram, I think, is very, very critical to this team. I mean, he's probably the one person in that top order who can take on the spinners and put some pressure back on the slower bowlers. And he has looked comfortable at the crease in what little we have seen of him in this tournament. He also is a very not to the genius level that Dhoni is, but he's also a very thinking captain, a very smart captain, knows how to use his resources well. So I think Markram is a very critical player to this Sunrisers batting lineup. He can hold one end up. He can play an anchor's role. He's got undeniable pedigree as a batsman, but he's also got the ability to take on the spinners and hit them long. So it makes him a very, very vital part. And he's someone who will work well in a partnership with Brook, because Brook is one who can, destroy the fast bowlers, but he needs a Markram at the other end if the scoreboard is to not get stuck for too long. So I think Markram is absolutely critical, especially in this game against Chennai in Chennai.
And that's what we saw, in fact, in the way Harry Brook constructed his innings when he scored 100 against Kolkata Knight Riders, where, at the other end, he had Aiden Markram taking on the spinners. But let's just talk a little bit more about MS Dhoni. I wonder what, of course, MS Dhoni, excellent captain. We know what he's done for Chennai Super Kings. Though I wonder sometimes, Jamie, for owners, what are they really expecting out of someone like MS Dhoni? I mean, they're not really expecting him to go out and finish matches. Thankfully, their batters are doing the job. But what is it? Because I think for viewers and for fans, it's really about savoring every moment that MS Dhoni is on the field. Of course, the sixes that he's hitting, that's a bonus. And we've seen some brilliant sixes being hit by him where he's turned back the clock. But I wonder, are they really expecting him to finish matches for them?
Probably yes, just because it's MS Dhoni, right? I mean, he is in many ways brand CSK. We've discussed this before. Whenever he decides to retire as a player, he's not going to leave CSK, and CSK is not going to let him go. He's going to be around in whatever capacity the man wants, because more than any other player in this league, he has come to embody what one team stands for. And even when they've not done well, he's been around. He's been that one constant. He's won so many matches. The team has reached the playoffs the maximum times, along with RCB and Mumbai Indians. But to come back to your question, do they expect him to win matches? Yes. But I think those expectations have to be tempered with each passing season. Anand mentioned the last time that, that Dhoni's coming in and batting at number 8. And that just says a lot, right? He, like Ambati Rayudu, two players that do not play domestic cricket anymore. So the onus is on them to show up, a month, 6 weeks, 2 months before the team assembles and start to prove their fitness. And between the two, I mean, Dhoni is leagues ahead of everyone else.
Yeah.
And he shows that, that picture went viral when he was stepping down the track to hit someone, and the biceps looked almost photoshopped, But then realized that actually is the kind of premium that MS Dhoni puts on his fitness. He's going to struggle. He's going to have some bad matches. Probably the man himself, though we won't say it openly, he's probably happy coming in to face the minimum number of balls. There was that match when he got 6 and then out third ball. These kind of innings can prove golden in, especially this IPL, where I know things will change as the league goes on, but these high scoring, low scoring matches go back and forth. But that ability to come out and do 10 off 2, no one better than MS Dhoni.
Yes, of course. I remember that over by Sandeep Sharma, where he hit him for 2 sixes, and one felt maybe he could change the match around. But Sandeep then bowling well to contain Chennai Super Kings. But we're also getting some comments. There's Chatan Singh Chaudhary who's commented saying big fan of Jamie and Mia. So Jamie, there you go. And he's also asking, should Dhoni come higher up the order? Anand, let me take that question to you. Should Dhoni come higher up the order? I mean, fans can't have enough of MS Dhoni. If they would have their way, they'd get him to bat at least 10 overs out of the 20.
Yeah, I think as far as the fans go, it's very straightforward. I mean, as the last time when Chennai played at Chennai Stadium, Chennai fans in Bangalore were the majority against Bangalore. I mean, the RCB fans were on the back foot. And all you needed was to put a shot of Dhoni sitting in the dugout on the big screen and they would go nuts. Yeah. So the fans certainly want to see him higher up the order. But Dhoni knows that he needs to do what's best for his team to get them the number of wins they need to get into the playoffs. That's pretty much all Dhoni thinks about when it comes to the IPL. It's not even so much winning the title because, you could have 1 or 2 bad days after you get into the playoffs, and 2 months of work could go down the drain. But if you get to the playoffs, you consider the season a success to some degree. And I think Dhoni's batting position can only go down from here, because at some stage you're going to have excuse me.
Are you okay, Anand? Okay, we're just going to give you a moment of breather, and let me take this question to Jamie then about Ajinkya Rahane. Jamie, I mean, here is Ajinkya Rahane proving to his critics that, look, you cannot rule me out. I can bat like anybody else, and striking at 200 plus in power plays. Who would have thought Ajinkya Rahane would be doing this? But he's doing a fantastic job of it, and just looks like a man on a mission.
Yeah, he does indeed look like a man on a mission.
Yeah.
Because he's a player, he probably thought, yes, I'm involved with a big franchise now in CSK. Maybe I won't get that many matches. And he knows, I think this is 16th year of competitive cricket. He knows that, he's 34, going on 35, may have moved past the Indian selectors. We don't know about that. There is a WTC final coming up where Shreyas Iyer is not going to be there. Who knows what runs in the IPL can do? But classic example of someone who's just not willing to bow down to anyone, and showing that, give me one match and I'll make sure that I convert that one chance into 3 or 4. And right now, I mean, I don't want to jinx the guy because he's a very, very good batsman. Rahane is doing everything that is required from him, and he's proving undroppable. Because that number 3 slot, like Anand mentioned a couple matches ago, when a wicket falls, he's coming in and making sure that wicket is not as big as it seems. Here, just through the kind of batting he's doing. That strike rate is outstanding in the power play, and he's not had a bad match yet. So let's see if Ajinkya Rahane can keep it going.
Yeah, the other thing being, he reminds me a bit of what Uthappa was doing really, and how Uthappa felt, Anand. I remember having a conversation with him after what was a fantastic, time that he had with Chennai Super Kings, and he said, look, the moment I went there, I felt at home, and that sort of translated in the kind of performances that he gave for Chennai, and that's something that now you see with Ajinkya Rahane as well. I mean, this is really about good franchises, successful franchises who know what to do with their players, even when they are not performing or when they are performing, just to give them the confidence, the security that, look, you're fine, we trust you, we are confident in your abilities.
Yeah, Mia, that works both ways, in that a franchise must not have unrealistic expectations of a player, but the player must also know exactly what his strengths and weaknesses are, and not try to do something that is outside his comfort zone. If you look at Ajinkya Rahane, the big shots that he has played, most of the time he's using the pace of the ball. He's playing the pull behind square. He's playing the cut behind square. He's using the pace that the bowlers are giving him to work with, and timing the ball rather than trying to muscle it out of the ground. And that timing has just been so sublime so far. There was one particularly monstrous shot he hit in the Chennai Stadium, which nearly landed on the roof. In fact, broke the asbestos kind of covering of the roof.
Yeah.
So some massive shots, not something you expect from a player who's largely a touch player, but his timing has just been immaculate. And again, spin, we all know that he has the ability to hit through the field. He doesn't need to loft the ball that much, because he can get to the pitch of the ball, work the ball into the gaps, whether it's in the offside with the cover drive, or through the onside with his flicks and his short arm jabs. So I think, it's great that Chennai are backing him, and it's very obvious that they are. And I think it's also very clear to Rahane what they expect of him, how they expect him to play, and knowing that he's able to do that role at number 3. And if I can just take 30 seconds more to finish the point that I was trying to make earlier. I was just saying, when Ben Stokes is fit, and he looks like he's going to be fit at any point now, then it's just going to push Dhoni even further down the order, which Dhoni won't mind, because it'll just shore up Chennai's batting that much more.
Yeah, but then the question is, who sits out when Ben Stokes is fit? That is so let me start with you, and then we'll take Jamie as well. Who do you think, because apparently he was batting in the nets and he looked good. So in case he were to come in today, who sits out? Anand?
It's going to be a very, very unfortunate thing, but it's probably going to be Devon Conway that sits out. I mean, he's done really well in just
Yeah.
recent matches, but who else does he make? Who else makes pay? Because Moin provides you bowling and batting. You've got Tikshana there, and you've got Patirana, who's excellent in the death, as we saw in the last game, and really the only one in that Chennai mix who can do that job. So as unfair as it might seem, I would think that the most likely person to miss out is Devon Conway.
Jamie, do you think that Ben Stokes should be brought in and Devon Conway should make way for him?
Very harsh if they choose Devon Conway. We just saw the numbers on our screen, and the last match, the way he's batting. Look again, but again, that's what franchises build their teams around, right? Having these kind of problems. You would much rather be in a situation like this when you're looking at Moeen Ali, World Cup winner, Devon Conway reached the World Cup final. Mahesh Patirana, Mahesh Tikshana. This is a problem. Yes, it'll be unfair on whoever goes out, but this is what, in a sense, embodies the whole CSK philosophy. You'd rather have more than not. Again, Ben Stokes, to my mind, he's the least productive right now in the T20 format as compared to one day. Yes, he's not playing anymore, but Ben Stokes doesn't really have a lot to provide. Yes, I know he was the last man standing when they beat Pakistan in that final, but that was his real innings of note. So, but again, it's Ben Stokes, certain maverick touch. If he's fit, I see them bringing him right back in. Even if he's not bowling, just to have a player like Ben Stokes on the field is gold. Will it be Devon Conway? I'm not so sure. Yes, Moeen Ali brings a lot with the ball, but he's not been doing things the last three matches. For me, it's a very, very tight call between, yes, Conway, but I just somehow think it might be Moeen Ali, even though the lure of him bowling you 4 good overs at the Chepauk is very, very good.
So if you let Moeen Ali out and you get Ben Stokes in, is that what you're saying, Jamie? And then Mitchell Santner as well in place of Mahesh Tikshana?
Again, it's like a 1% call between him and Devon Conway. I just think that Devon Conway's 80 odd the last match might have just pushed the needle in his favor. But whoever it is not going to be a happy man.
Let's also put that question across to people who are watching. Who do they think, who should sit out if Ben Stokes were to come in? And should Ben Stokes come in at this point? That's another thing. Should he be in at this point, or should they continue with Devon Conway in the side? Maybe, get a Mitchell Santner in place of Mahesh Tikshana or Moeen Ali. What are their thoughts? Let's also put that across to people. What do you think? Do let us know. But just coming back to Sunrisers Hyderabad as well, the bowling, again, we're talking about whether, what are the changes really for Chennai Super Kings. Anand, what about the changes for Sunrisers Hyderabad? One major one, maybe get Adil Rashid back in place of Marco Jansen, because, they'd also go the spin way, wouldn't they, on the Chepauk?
Well, they should, and they have to bring in some additional spin resources, whether it's Adil Rashid or Akil Hussain. Unfortunately, if you look at the way they've stacked their team up at the auction, they've got 2 foreign spinners, which is really hard to play 2 foreign spinners in your 11 when your captain is already a foreigner. Mayank Markande, they've been using as an impact player, and he's done well. But yes, you would think that one of these 2 spinners has to come in Chennai conditions.
Okay, then if Chennai have it sorted, Jamie, when it comes to their batting and when it in fact comes to their spin bowling options as well, resources they have enough. What about their pacers? And it's not helped the fact that, some of their pacers have been injured. Deepak Chahar's out. Magala, he was injured. Keeping that in mind, Tushar Pandey, Deshpande, he's got wickets, but he's been expensive. Do you think now for Mahendra Singh Dhoni, it would be important if he wants to make it to the knockout stages that they win all their matches at home, because their bowling could be a problem for them?
Yeah, it's a big blow when I think at one point of time there were 5 bowling options, including Ben Stokes, which were for various reasons not available. Again, if Stokes is fit, is he going to bowl? I don't know. But I think the fact that Tushar Deshpande has got the odd scolding from Dhoni, the team has still backed him to do the job. There was Rajvardhan Hangargekar. I think he played a match or two. Now he's sort of fallen off their favorite list. But knowing Dhoni, he's gonna keep backing Tushar Deshpande because he's had a tough job, bowling up front, bowling at the death. Yes, the runs are a bit expensive, but he's still getting wickets, and probably Dhoni would want to continue that. Again, I think it's just because of the ground we're talking about, the MA Chidambaram Stadium. Spin is going to have a much bigger say. So I don't see any changes in regards to Chennai's bowling attack this evening.
Whereas for Sunrisers Hyderabad, they've as Anand said, that they should get in someone like an Adil Rashid or Akil Hussain. What about
Absolutely.
Yes, you agree. What about their pacers as well? Bhuvneshwar Kumar hasn't been impressive. Would have wanted more from him. Natarajan also. That's going to be another problem for Sunrisers Hyderabad. It's not just their batting which hasn't been consistent. Even their bowling hasn't really fired every time.
Absolutely. For me, the biggest disappointment is actually Umran Malik, who had a breakout season last year. We all know that. And then that led to his inclusion just weeks after the IPL in India's white ball teams. He's a bowler with a big future. He's one of those rare guys. I mean, I'm not going to go on about him because we know what he can do. Him not firing and him not playing the last match is a big statement on how disappointing Hyderabad's bowlers have been. Bhuvneshwar again, he's how much can we expect from him? I think they should not expect a whole lot from him. T. Natarajan, I mean, what a great find he was a couple of seasons ago. He's also not doing the job. It just says, like Anand mentioned, how they need to get in either Akil Hussain, or in my mind, Adil Rashid before anyone else. Because on this track, and even it's not about this track. Hyderabad are more reliant on their spinners, given how inconsistent their fast bowlers have been so far.
Also, Washington Sundar, wicketless in 5 matches. Anand, the home ground, will they play him or drop him?
Well, Washington Sundar's lack of wickets is a real mystery to me, because the way he has positioned himself in T20 cricket is as an off spinner who bowls up front and in the depth. He's been very, very successful in that role in the past. In domestic cricket, I've seen a fair bit of him, and there he's very much a batsman who contributes a little with the ball. But franchises have used him consistently as someone who does a job with the ball and then comes in down the order and perhaps chips in with the bat if needed. Although he's a much better batsman than that. He's a consistent bowler. He's very difficult to get away. And batsmen looking to hit him should be getting out more often than they have so far. I think if he is persisted with, he will at some stage give you better returns than he has as of now.
I also wanted to talk to you, Anand, about one of the conversations we had 3-4 shows ago on impact players and whether they've made the kind of impact that was expected out of this whole strategy. And the thing that you said, and which now I see a lot of players echoing the same thing, where you said that, this is going to be problematic for all-rounders. Now, Venkatesh Iyer has come out and spoken about it, saying this is going to be a problem, especially for, bowling all-rounders, where they just go and substitute a batter for a bowler. Is that now going to become a larger issue, really, for other players, for other teams as well?
It is going to be an issue, I think, unless you have at least 1 or 2 all-rounders in your mix who are genuinely contributing with bat and ball, then you're going to play them in the 11 irrespective. But the category of player who is primarily a lower order batsman and then chips in a little with the ball, that kind of player is going to struggle to get into the teams at the moment, because you'd rather play a specialist batsman and then sub him out for a specialist bowler than have someone who may or may not bowl. Venkatesh Iyer hasn't bowled yet in this tournament, which is quite unbelievable, given that he was at one stage considered the next all-round hope for India when Hardik Pandya was injured. The impact player has changed things in that level. It's good in that the matches are going to become much more competitive till later, because even if you collapse, you can bring a batsman in down the order. Or if one bowler is injured or having a bad day, you can bring another bowler in if you haven't yet made your substitution. So it's going to make matches more intense, perhaps better quality. But long term, for the future of the bits and pieces cricketer or the not so genuine all-rounder, this is a death blow.
Are we still using that phrase, bits and pieces cricketer, after what, what happened between Sanjay Manjekar and Ravindra Jadeja? And talking about Ravindra Jadeja, with the ball again has been good, but what about with the bat?
Yes, I think with the bat, nowhere near as good as expected. And I think a little bit of this is because he comes in really with very few overs left. And then instead of playing like the Jadeja of old, who just pretty much swung freely at everything, the new Jadeja, who's such an improved batsman, is actually thinking and playing like a proper test batsman. I mean, he still has all the shots in the book. He still can clear the field pretty much at will. But now he's putting much more of a price on his wicket, I think, and playing with the mindset of a top order batsman. He'll have to flick a switch there and get back to his old IPL Jadeja mode. I'm sure he'll get there, and when he does, the captain will give him enough time to get set, which is why you see even in recent matches when wickets have fallen, Dhoni has pushed Jadeja up and preferred to keep himself down the order. That's how much they back him.
Also, Mathisha Pathirana now reminds you of Lasith Malinga in that slingy action, and does have the variation, does have the control because of what we saw, especially in the way that that they won the last game because of him. What are your thoughts on him?
Oh, I think he's just starting off. I think we have nowhere near seen the best of him. He's got all the ingredients you need in a fast bowler. He's got pace, he's got accuracy, he's got a decent bouncer. He's got enough enough pace to be sharp and hurry batsman when the ball skids on a little bit. He's able to attack the stumps. He's got a good yorker. I think all that he needs is that little experience of how to build a wicket, how to build the 3-4 deliveries that lead up to a wicket. That sequencing of deliveries is something that will come as he plays more and more with experience. And having Dhoni around to help him, I'm sure will just accelerate that process. He's going to be a very difficult customer to face in 20-over cricket and probably 50-over cricket as well in the days to come.
Okay, let's also talk about the result from yesterday then, Anand. Finally, first of all, congratulations to Delhi Capitals. They've got, finally they've got a win under their belt and they beat Kolkata Knight Riders by 4 wickets. But there was panic, there was paranoia, as one would expect from a team that was struggling to register a win. Both these teams, though, after I saw the match, they both have problems and they both made sure they took it closer than it was meant to be. I mean, of course, DC bowling, led by Ishant Sharma, was fantastic, but for them to take it all the way right till the end, especially after David Warner got out, one wondered whether anybody could finish that game. Yes, 127 is what Kolkata Knight Riders were restricted to, a miserly 127. Kudos to Delhi Capitals bowlers, and then 128 for 6. David Warner finally showing that, look, I can bat like the way I used to. Please do not think I have a problem with strike rate. 53 is what he scored. Manish Pandey, 21. Good win. At the end of the day, they'll just be happy. Isn't that so, Anand? I mean, they won a game.
Yeah, I think they'll be happy for the points, but I'm not so sure I agree with you that it's a good win. It was a slightly difficult surface in that I think the little bit of rain that had meant that the ball was stopping and coming. It was not easy to play shots. But even given that, the Mount Delhi struggled, you just think that such a low total should have been scored easily. But didn't happen. It just seemed like neither team adjusted quickly enough to the wicket, read the wicket, read the pitch well enough. If I was a fan, if I was a paying fan at the Kotla yesterday, I would be well within my rights to ask for a refund, I think. It was one of those games of cricket that was hard to watch. There was no flow, there was no fluency. It was not what you expect from a T20 match at all. But, as you say, for Delhi, it's the points that matter at this stage.
It does. And I think why I said good win, and it was not good in the way I agree with you. It wasn't a very convincing win, but good win because it was a win after all, because they were struggling. I mean, the number of memes that I've seen on Delhi Capitals, and especially after they lost, 16 bats and their kit and all of that. And they said, oh, their bats were lost because they were the newest of them all, because they weren't really being put to use. People can be cruel on social media. So in that sense, good for Ricky Ponting, for David Warner, for Saurav Ganguly, James Hopes, and Praveen Amre and the others. And of course for David Warner. Let's also take a look at the points table before we wrap this up. Rajasthan Royals still sitting pretty at the top. Lucknow Super Giants, they've got 8 points, but net run rate, that's where Rajasthan are higher. Chennai Super Kings would want to add to the total there. They've got 6 points, would want to be in the top 3 with 8 points. And then at the bottom, DC, Kolkata Knight Riders, Punjab Kings, Mumbai Indians and Royal Challengers Bangalore. There you have the points table. Just a quick one then, Anand. Of course, it's advantage Chennai Super Kings in this game. Given the conditions and given how Chennai have been playing, their batting, all of that, there are a lot of problems with Sunrisers Hyderabad. But as we've seen in this IPL, things can change. If they do, how do you expect Sunrisers Hyderabad to beat Chennai today?
Well, first and foremost, get their team right. They need to get some more firepower against spin. Secondly, get their matchups right. Because it's not something that I believe in a great way, but when you have a very good bowling attack coming up against a primary batsman like Harry Brook, whose big weakness is spin, you have to manage your resources well at that stage. If they manage their resources well, they can push Chennai Super Kings, but I still think it might be a bridge too far, beating Chennai at the moment.
Okay, with that, we'll wrap this up. Thank you so much, Anand Vasu. Jamie's already left us. He had to be somewhere else, but thanks once again. It is Chennai Super Kings versus Sunrisers Hyderabad at the Chepauk Stadium. And it is difficult. Chennai have won 19 of their last 23 matches, as we've been saying. Can Aiden Markram and his boys turn things around? That's the big question. News 9 Live. That's the channel that you need to subscribe to for all the latest from the world of sports as well. And also, we're going to be here every day through this IPL at 6 o'clock, 6 to 6:40 is when we'll be here. We'll be previewing the games, analyzing the games. So do join us then. For now, goodbye. Thanks for watching.